A very good morning to you all. Wonderful to have you join us for today's Match of the Round broadcast from the sunny plains of Nelson Bay, where the Black Diamond Cup Women's Division will have the home team, Nelson Bay Marlins, taking on the Warners Bay Bulldogs. And there's a lot of belief in both of these sides today. It should be an epic clash indeed. I'm Corey Hopper. I've got Ash Borg and Shane Darwin here with me as we have a look at the tail of the tape. Ash, take us through this.
Mate, it's pretty even between the two sides, both 2 and 4. Very close in the points for the ladder positions. You can see there, Warners Bay just in 5th, Nelson Bay in 6th. They haven't played each other officially in the Black Diamond Cup for at least 8 years. That was the last time Nelson Bay and Warners Bay were both in the comp. So the Battle of the Bay gets re-established, Chop. It's a really interesting contest today. I've actually gone for Warners Bay by a very small margin. They've got a little bit of experience out there today, and I think they're going to be good enough. All
right, well, fair enough too. I might sit on the other side of that fence and go Nelson Bay.
I don't have your tip on the screen there, Chop, but I'm with you. I've gone Nelson Bay as well. I reckon it's a small margin, but I think they're home ground. They haven't won in Cup yet at home. 2 wins for the year, but not at home yet. So I think this could be the drought breaker.
Well, they'll definitely want that. And what a day for football. There's blue skies, not a cloud to be seen. Are you sure we're in New South Wales? I'm not sure we are. The grass couldn't be greener out there. So whoever the groundkeeper here at Dick Burwell Oval is needs a high five because it looks wonderful out there. I think the home team will take it out. But what an important clash in the grand scheme of it. Two finals hopefuls, both of these sides, in what's becoming a more and more hotly contested competition in the women's division, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. And a couple of really key players for Nelson Bay. You can see one of them on screen there on the right of the circle, number 24, Connick Norton. Was one of the top 5 players for the AFL HCC side in the rep game. A massive win against the South Coast. And the other one to look for him is number 25, Charlotte Connick. The two of them, if they fire, Nelson Bay will be right in the contest all the way. They've got some good young players like Ella Burgraff and Miller Gainsford. So they've got some talent around the field and some good youth.
It's my first chance to have a look at the Nelson Bay women's side live, so a lot of fresh new faces out there for me to learn, and no doubt they'll give me something to remember by the end of today as we have a look at the Women's Cup around the grounds this weekend. Of course, Dick Burwell here, the big clash between the Marlins and the Bulldogs. Over at Max McMahon, we've got Maitland hosting Cardiff. That should be a very interesting clash indeed. The entrance, Baddo Bay and Terrigal Avoca. We've got that happening at the Baddo Bay entrance oval, and I just missed that last one. I think it was Newcastle and Killarney, which will be epic. Apparently, boys, a ripping women's game last week in that fixture.
Yeah, surely someone's got to go this time. They've played a grand final for a draw and an extra time win to Killarney Vale and a draw last week. So we get ourselves underway. Josh Horvath in the centre of the field, and the throw-up gets the contest underway here at Dick Burwell Oval as Jazzy Wellings takes the first one straight out of the middle. Younger's underneath it. Let's see how she positions herself here with Bronkhurst, who kicked 5 goals last weekend. Great start. Here's Wellings again with another touch. Haven't really had their hands on the ball yet, Nelson Bay, and they're not going to get their hands on it either as Wellings takes the first free kick. That was conceded by Norton. So she's about 48 metres out. Drives it nice and long. Packer players under there. Almost taking the mark there was Sullivan. Younger lurking around the football with Pavlu, who kicked a few goals last week also. Or 2 weekends ago. We did have a long weekend. So Josh Horvath, hard worker in the AFL HCC, gets that ball moving again. And they'll have another stoppage there through the agency of Duffy. And good positive start for both sides. Tap over the top. Bronkhurst. Taken to ground. Lovely tackle. Feldman will get the free kick there for a holding the ball free kick, and they're going to get out of danger here, Chop.
Yeah, out of danger. So working out of defence here. Has there been a whistle called? It looks like they're going to call the ball back.
Going behind the mark, I think.
All right, so we'll restart that. Nonetheless, the kick will be the same, and the captain, Olivia Feldman, will take that. Short chip. Trying to find a target there. A good lead, but a little bit of pressure from the Bulldogs now. So they didn't quite get the exit they were hoping for there, the Marlins. As Pittman gets it on the boot, just shuffles one forward. Along the ground, it's a worm burner. Plenty of Bulldogs around trying to get hold of it here. Dangerous spot now for the Marlins as a little chip kick towards goal. Ineffective. They've got to work hard here to try and get it out. Just not getting enough penetration on the boot at the moment, the Bulldogs. Otherwise, they would have had a goal here for sure. The scramble has resulted in a ball up in a really dangerous spot here, 20 metres out right in front. Pittman bursts through. She sends one and kicks the first goal of the game. A great opportunistic roving goal there by the captain coach of the Bulldogs. She's a wonderful player and still a great servant to football, isn't she?
Yeah, have a look at this replay if we can get one up. This is experience and playing at high levels for a long time. If we can get this replay up. Amy read this straight off the tap, and here it is, the replay.
Look at her just going into position there, Ash.
She's playing for Nelson Bay's ruck to tap down, but that's a beautiful tap down actually from her own ruck. Roved it to perfection and kicked the goal. Very classy stuff from the Dogs. First goal underway. Set it back to the middle. Nice little thumping effort here. Underneath it there, Stevens. Tapping it forward to the advantage. Still working with it. That's a lovely long kick towards the goal. I think it might have hit the post there from Sophie Elliott. That was a good effort. Through for their first score. Well, they did that quite well then.
Yeah, quick
Nelson
reply,
Bay.
wasn't it? That was a great exit from the centre clearance, and to result in a score is a good job. Little sideways of the mark, but great response. As the Bulldogs bring it back in, running the full distance in, they've got it out past the 50-metre line. That's great way to re-enter play. A scramble now right on the 50-metre mark. Picked up there quickly. That was Bronkhurst on that occasion, but it's been repelled by the Marlins. And luckily, there's some safe hands down there in that defensive line for the Bulldogs, and they're going to wait for an option here. Kick out to the far wing. Good lengthy kick, and it's come off the back of the pack there, straight to the hands of a running Larissa Hobbs, but she's chased down in no time at all. They were away then, the Bulldogs. Quick hand pass on the outside. Another hand pass is a succession, starting to put it in the dangerous spot now for the Bulldogs. Another scramble at ground level. They're going to get it out here. On that occasion was McCullum. Kicks sent into orbit. And a great mark taken by Trainer. She was unopposed there. Takes it on the chest. She comes further out to the wing. She's got a couple of options out here. And a well-weighted kick. It's to the advantage of her teammates. But the cavalry arrive from the Marlins as the ball just shuffles its way to the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in here. Right underneath our noses. So it looks like there's a bit of strategy out there, Ash, between the sides as well. They look like they're really thinking their way through this.
Nelson Bay look a little bit more direct. They love the long kick, the long handball.
And take off too, don't they?
Yeah, they've got the speed with the youth. There's a nice little hand pass. Mary Vo nearly got there. Underneath the pack there, Nelson Bay trying to release it. Connick on the outside, looking for the handball from Jaslyn Stevens. He's pretty good in the middle there, Jazz Stevens. Noticed her already in the first five. Connick tried to get the tap down. Winning it was Mueller. Norton went to get it. Trying to pick it up there was Huggins and went past it. Standing over the football hole. Coming out and emerging with the ball now, the Dogs. They move it to about 60 metres from goal. It's 3-on-1 here. Picking it up is Gainsford. Looking to get onto it. Younger with a hand pass. Back to Huggins. Great tackle on the play there. Gainsford, who got there after the little bit of the intercept hand pass. Good player, Miller Gainsford. And you'll see a bit of her in the action today for Nelson Bay. So throw in will be a throw up. We don't have boundaries. Still have the lasso free kick, which continues to bewilder and puzzle people that watch it.
Dumbfound.
Around the body there was Pavlu.
Have a good signal.
Yeah, it's the best signal in the business there. Pavlu underneath it, or was underneath it. And that one will be another ball up there as Caitlin Hall picks it up for the Dogs. So Mueller, tap down. Wellings tried to, actually wasn't Wellings. Working through there, Connick. Nice long kick forward. Nelson Bay trying to release the pressure. Nice shrug there from McCallum, who drove it long inside 50. Over the top there, Sullivan. She could still be dangerous. Younger, like a little pit bull she is. Trying to get onto it. And Horvath will have another toss at the football. Perfect conditions for footy today. Nice tap down. Huggins needs to get a bit of a steady. Hand pass over the top, Mueller. Younger underneath it, punched away. Nelson Bay working hard. Ball came back to Daly. Daly snapped it around the body and missed to the right. They're both pretty dangerous when they get it inside 50, Chop.
Yeah, what I'm enjoying is that when they are getting inside their scoring zone, they're locking it in there until they're getting the score, both sides on this occasion. So they'll be happy with that, the Bulldogs, although 5 more would have been neat. They hold a 6-point advantage at the moment, and that's a great re-entry. I'm really enjoying that. They're taking the game on, aren't they? Unfortunately, the kick just needed a little bit more, and it's been plucked out of the sky by the Bulldogs, and they're going to buy themselves another opportunity here. Kicks inside the 50, 30 out from goal now. The scramble below the knees. Good push out on that occasion. That was Sullivan, who was the administrator of that. No one getting clean possession of the ball. It's still below the knees. Scramble to Marlins, they're fighting over the same thing, but they've relented in the end. Now they're pushing it towards their ball by way of paddling it across the ground. Trying to get some clean possession here. Brought in there by, I'm not sure who that player was on that occasion. There's a real tussle of them. There's a flurry of players all around the ball at the moment, and they've emerged with it now. The agency of Callahan, but she's reeled in before she has a chance to really take off, and umpire Horvath makes a good decision to ball it up. So a little bit of extra spread now. It's starting to get a little congested in there as the ball's pushed down in the way of the Bulldogs. They are feverish at ground level at the moment. We're enjoying this footy. Hand pass out by the Marlins. Jaslyn Stevens in amongst that again. Toe poke, trying to buy some ground here and move it towards their forward line. The front runners here at it, but they've overran it here, and a free kick's been found. It looks like it's Caitlin Hall who will get it. She's a great midfielder. Has been a great servant for a couple of seasons now for the Bulldogs. Earned herself a free kick. So she'll send this inside the 50 now, although albeit just instead looking for a teammate and Trainer. Trainer looking for an option in the forward line and presenting beautifully. Is that Huggins there? Wonderfully done. She just presented beautifully on that occasion. Chloe Huggins presented as all good power forwards should. Takes the mark. She's 30 out on a slight angle. It'll go very close. Hands went up to try and stall the momentum of the ball, and it's been paddled over for another behind. So they're looking the goods, the Bulldogs, at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going well. One of their most improved players, I reckon, is Chloe Huggins. I mentioned, Shane and I mentioned her on the podcast on Wednesday, Thursday, that she's one of the keys to victory for the Dogs. She's got great hands and an ever-improving footballer indeed as they make...
Strong body.
Yeah, big, strong body too. As that kick again, it's the right idea, what Miller Gainsford's doing, but they're just not getting that second touch.
They need more numbers at the end of it, don't they?
Yeah, we know that. I mean, they probably know what they're doing, but not sure whether they're getting the numbers around it. As the Dogs, through the agency of Traynor, left it behind. The Marlins move it to the centre now, towards the wing. Good tackling pressure there, Wallace. And that was on Sophie Elliott, who's got a very nice left boot. Right in front of us here, we've played 10 minutes. First half of the first quarter gone. Lead is Warners Bay's by 7. Is looking to pick that up there is Amy Steele, who did a wonderful chase down tackle before. Bypassed a few players here. No one inside 50. A couple of only players inside 50 if this comes out. Nice kick round the body by Patton. And the clean-up mark taken there by the Dogs. That was by the 99 of Ava Traynor. So Trover runs away. Lovely looking kick. Mueller underneath it. Should take it pretty comfortably. She'll take that at half back. Just trying to connect with one another here, the Dogs, as Mueller gets it out, looking towards Bronkhurst. The 33 who left it behind, and that one is going to be a free kick to the Dogs again. So Bronkhurst, who kicked 5 last weekend or 2 weekends ago against Maitland, sends this one long. Mary Vo sneaking around the back. Got a nice little shepherd there on Norton. Tackle without the football. I reckon that's going to be a free kick to Mackenzie. No, Nelson Bay will get the free kick there to Gainsford. Fair enough. And that ball's gone long. That was a wonderful kick. Much better that time. Lack underneath it. Couldn't quite take the mark, but it went to the wing. Great little push and shove there by the Marlins. Got it away. Welling's got the hand pass out. They get to move it again. It's a great battle in the midfield. Lovely mark taken there again by Huggins, who's really excelling in the forward line. Younger's right at the back if they can get it to her, but the short ball, that was a lovely ball. And that's hit the 17 of Sullivan. So Sullivan's about 48 metres out. Younger trying to conduct the band from the behind the pack. And that kick was very good. And that's Abby McKenzie, the former Newcastle City player, who takes the mark. She's back in the team today after 4 or 5 weeks out with compound fractures in the finger. Let's see how this distance goes. Almost got there. Could have been a mark. Huggins touched off the boot. Play on, says the ump. Younger lurking. Players just flying around the football everywhere and forgetting to leave the football behind, and wonder if that's going to be a deliberate rush behind. No, it's going to be paid behind. It's fair enough to extend it by a point, Chop. It's a really entertaining, close game of football.
Yeah, it is. They're both looking like they have very different strategies, but they are playing very close to their match structures by the look of it. And it'll be good to see Nelson Bay pull this one together. I like the way they're re-entering the football match from the re-entry kick. They just need to have more numbers at the end of it. Warners Bay is starting to get onto it a little bit here and getting just as many numbers at the fall of the ball as what they are. So they need to counteract that by bringing even more over. They know where they're going. They've just got to win the ball at that point. So once again, where the ball's landed, we've got to scramble for it. And Caitlin Hall for the Bulldogs just pumps one straight back towards goal. Pittman's there. She rose to the front. She's wheeled around and had a shot on it and peppered it with another minor score. So it's 1-4-10 to just the single point for the home team of the Marlins. And they will persist with this re-entry strategy, which I think is effective if they can just win the ball at the fall of it. So they've brought it in this time, going the other side. Ellie Duffy takes the kick. They've made it to the 50-metre mark now, but they haven't been able to get clean possession again at ground level. So it's over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in. I like the strategy, Ash. They just haven't quite pulled it off yet, but I'm sure it's coming. I imagine they've probably trained for it and practiced a few times during the week. So it might take a couple of goes before they nail it. As play resumes, the umpire says, I'll have a ball up here. Still a dangerous spot for them. 25 out, far side of the ground. Plucked it out of the air there, the Marlins, but just has a wall of Bulldogs to try and bulldoze through. Unable to do it, and another ball up is ensuing. This is an intriguing ruck duel between these two players as it comes down. Bulldogs win it at ground level. That's Sullivan on this occasion. She's trying to get it out. Does so. Great roving of the football and a kick towards goal for the Bulldogs. Results in a contest. Ball hits the ground and bounces through for yet another point. So 1-5-11. They could just about have smoked the Marlins by now if it was a little more straight. So something to think about for the Marlins at quarter time will be how are they going to get this strategy effective.
They've definitely got the midfield for it. Do they drop one of Annalise Norton or Charlotte Connick back in defence and try and springboard from there? This is Gainsford again, who's taken two bounces and left it behind. That's dangerous. Play on, said the ump. Hand pass to Amy Younger, and Pitty goes bang and goals. And that's the only thing there, Chop. Miller Gainsford, she tried to run the line and the bounce got left behind. Intelligent from Sullivan, and Amy Younger always in the right place.
It was the right thing to do. I mean, Gainsford had plenty of time to pull off that bounce. Even if she just tapped it on the ground as she was running rather than bounce it, she did the right thing because they would have kicked it well beyond the 50 then. And their runners can run onto that ball running in the right direction.
I actually hope she doesn't stop. I hope she doesn't stop doing it because then she needs to take the game on. I think that's the key for the Marlins.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision. It was just the bounce wasn't executed well. So, yeah, we hate that happening. It's happened to all of us at some stage. I know I stopped taking the bounce because it happened every time. Play resuming in the middle now. And the Bulldogs emerge with it. That was a neat little tap from behind. Unfortunately, it's illegal. And the 50-metre penalty, I guess not returning the ball back to the player on the full, perhaps. I'm not too sure. One way or the other, the Marlins will enjoy the extra gained ground. Waiting for the ball to come back now. The kick will be taken by Miller Gainsford. So a chance to redeem herself from moments ago. And she will manage to drive this deep into the Marlins forward line. An opportunity for goal for them. A good mark taken. Yep, should be paid and was. And that was Norton on that occasion. So she stood tall in that marking contest and pulled it down. I'm not familiar with her range. I imagine she'll be right on the edge of it, but she's having a shot nonetheless. Puts a high ball up. Won't quite make the distance, but it's in a hot spot now for the Bulldogs. They just need to get a boot to ball here, the Marlins. They need more numbers around this contest, I think, as Vo wheels on it like a good rover and kicks it in the Pittman direction. She picks it up with some class and poise and then pumps it towards the wing. So out of danger for the time being, the Bulldogs. It's trying to get first to it are the Marlins, but they overrun it and give a chance for the Bulldogs to get away. But a quick hurried kick goes over the boundary line on the full. So a free kick. They're still in this here, the Marlins. Still an opportunity for them to get a major score on the board before the first break. Long kick back towards their 50-metre area. No mark taken at ground level. Desperate bodies just throwing themselves at the ball now. There's been a whistle, so we'll have a ball up here as they muster their troops around this stoppage. Tap inboard, nicely done by the Marlins, and the quick taken by Duffy. She sets a high one and a good mark taken. Amy shows some genuine steel there, Amy Steele. And she's in a very similar position to where her teammate was, Norton, not so long ago. Kicks it long, back to that hot spot. They've managed to lock it in again, the Marlins, which is good signs. But that dour defence of the Bulldogs is desperate to not give away a major score. You can see both sides desperately want this. Another ball up. They've done well here, the Marlins. The Bulldogs' defence have done their best to get themselves out of danger, but they're locking it in, which is great forward line pressure. Wheeling around on the right boot. That was Norton, I think, who kicked that. But ineffective in essence because the Bulldogs have taken a mark on the last line. High kick and hands go up. Almost a mark taken. Almost had it for just about long enough, but it's come down to ground now and a desperate scramble to try and get it out of danger zone for the Bulldogs. Can't quite see what's going on there. It's behind the roof of that dugout. Can you see better than me, Ash?
No, not quite.
No.
Free kick pulled out to the Dogs, though. I think it's going to Mary Vo.
All right, so they are out of danger now with Vo's kick.
So Vo's going to take this free kick given away by Isabella Holt. With about 2 minutes to go in the quarter, about a minute to go in the quarter. Ball to the wing. Gainsford tries to go straight through, bumps and shoves a few, puts it back underneath the marquee there. Tackle on Hole was effective. Umpire says I'll have it. So just drifting down to the last minute. Really enjoyed Huggins' game so far for Warners Bay. Really enjoyed Gainsford too, taking the game on. Good to see from her. 23, 24 and 25 from Nelson Bay. All in numerical order, doing a great job. As lovely take there from Sullivan, almost hand passed it to herself as Bronkhurst left it behind. If Traynor can get out the back and Warners Bay can get this could be a goal again here with a few seconds remaining. Bronkhurst couldn't get the grab. Nice work again. Out the back, trying to get the hand pass was Gray for Nelson Bay. Sullivan to Younger. Younger trying to get through the pack. Lovely hand pass over the top. Here's an opportunity for the Dogs. That could have been a high shot, and the umpire's going to pay it. Right on the siren with 5 seconds to go. Free kick, Abby McKenzie. She's got to back herself from here. And the siren's about going now. She's actually over the mark. That probably shouldn't count, and it went out on the full anyway. So quarter time here at Burwell Oval. Warners Bay, 2 goals to Amy Younger, 2-5-17. Nelson Bay, 1 behind as we go to the short break. Corey, what are your thoughts on the first quarter, mate?
I was pleased with Nelson Bay's fight back to the latter stages of that quarter. I think they showed that they got the capacity to get it not only from one end down to their forward line, but to keep it locked in. They sort of created maybe 3 or 4 opportunities to get a major score there, but the defence just stood up too tall in the end, especially at ground level for the Bulldogs. So they're showing a better fist of it at this stage.
Yep, and Maitland got the first goal of the game against Cardiff, but Cardiff lead it 19-7 as we go to the first quarter break. Welcome back here to Dick Burwell Oval here in Nelson Bay, just outside Nelson Bay actually. There's about a 3 or 4 minute drive before you hit the centre of town here in regional northern New South Wales. Warners Bay lead at 2-5-17 to 1 behind in the Black Diamond Women's Cup, round number 7. See both coaches just in front of us here under the marquees having a bit of a chat about things and what they need to do to improve in the second term. What do you think Glenn Wade would be saying to his charges, the coach of Nelson Bay, Corey, at quarter time?
I think maybe strengthen up a little bit across the half-back line, especially with those re-entry kicks. I think that's where they're falling down a little bit. They seem to be pretty strong, go through the centre and half forward because they can push the ball right to their line. So other than just making sure they contest a little bit more fiercely right at that forward line when the ball there, they've really got to take their opportunities when they're there because of the hard work happening from further up the ground. And the other place where they squandered a lot of scoring opportunities and gave scoring opportunities back to the opposition were from their half-back line on that re-entry kick. So hopefully they'll clean that up a little bit, just fine-tune that strategy, because I think it's a good strategy overall. I think they're going to gain some ground on it, but that's what I'll be talking to them about. Probably find some less words to be able to say it, though.
As one of my colleagues at work says, verbose, being verbose. And saying more than what's necessary. So
that's what my partner says she is at home. She says, I'm verbose. The boss.
My wife came up with another word yesterday when we were driving in the car. And I actually didn't believe her, and I looked it up, and she was right. So
a new word.
Yeah, new
You're
word.
A school principal, aren't
and
you?
And I still can't remember the word.
That's great. That's great.
So, Bo, one of the sides have broken from the huddle. A bit of an extended quarter-time break here, to be fair.
Break, isn't it? Yeah,
usually 5 minutes on the break. The two umpires are happy to probably take it as well, as both sides coming onto the field. An update score from another ground is Maitland versus Cardiff. Cardiff expected to win comfortably. Quarter-time, they lead at 4-1-25 to 1-1-7. So things going to script there as well. Also, a wonderful game in prospect at Envisage Property Oval at 1 o'clock this afternoon with Killarney Vale and Newcastle going toe-to-toe again 2 weeks in a row. They got the big draw last 2 weeks ago before the long weekend after Newcastle got the 12-point lead with 5 minutes to go. Can one of those sides actually get over the line for a win?
After watching that one, boys, I wasn't there to join you on that particular day, but what's your tips going into this one, the rematch?
I can't even remember what I said now.
You took Bombers, I took City, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty
not
sure
by much.
That's what it was. So, off you go, Chop.
Wonderful work. Well, the skies are still as blue as ever, and we are enjoying our football today, no doubt, as the second quarter gets underway here. And it is an absolute fierce tussle in the middle for sure. There are free kicks being found almost immediately. It'll go the way of the Nelson Bay Marlins, and they'll be pleased about that. Charlotte Connick, the vice-captain, and doing a wonderful job with the ruck duties there, has done a great job. Good kick, long and in towards the forward line for the Marlins. But then a mark has been taken by the hungry mongoose, Jasmine Wellings. She's up and about today. She's been very active, as she is every single game, and she's found her target on that far side there. So the Bulldogs now out of danger. The kick taken by Daly. She's found a pinpoint target, and they're moving the ball really well, the Bulldogs, actually finding targets over their 20s and 30s. Being watched very closely, though, with the third kick. Where the Marlins have come in and shown some great pressure to be able to at least force a stoppage here after what was a good collection of kicks and maintaining possession by the Bulldogs. Ball at ground level now, paddling forward, pulling it in there. Another ball up we will have. So no one can question the determination of both of the sides here. So the Bulldogs win out in that ruck duel. Quick kick towards their centre forward line, and Huggins almost takes, after 4 or 5 bites of the cherry, her hand pass errant, and it's chopped off by the defence of the Marlins, but the quick kick is read better by Wellings. So she'll slow it down a bit. Obviously a bit of glare there. She shades her eyes. Kick straight down the line. First to it is the captain of the Marlins. That's Feldman. She wheels around and kicks her ball long. Good mark taken. So they maintain possession, the Marlins. Long kick forward. This is a great piece of play. This is what I was talking about at the end. They're managing to maintain possession and send the ball deep into their forward line, and they've taken a mark here, and it's wonderful work. That's Annalise Norton, who had a shot at goal in the second quarter. Didn't quite make the distance, but she's about the same distance again, so she'll know what she'll have to put into it this time. Gives it a good ride. It's travelling towards it, but waiting at the back there. A stalwart defensive work by the Bulldogs. They'll be out of danger with this one, and they'll slow it down, Ash.
Yeah, Burge took a nice mark then. Actually, it might have been Sawkins. Drove it back out, but it's going to come back in as it's marked by the Marlins. Moving it back towards the middle. Lovely looking kick, looking for Norton. Couldn't get it. Nice pressure there from Hall. Still on the ground, the Marlins looking to chase that first goal. Hand pass came out there from the agency of Stevens. Still on the ground, and the Marlins looking to really pounce on it. Good effort there by the Dogs to clear. Nice little recycle. McCallum needs to hold it. Couldn't hold it. Bump off the football, nearly effective. Marlins working really hard in the pressure. Well, they just circumnavigated the football then. It was almost like they wanted to travel around it rather than to it. As Stevens dived on the football, cleared away. It's to about 45. Pumped back in by Feldman over the top. Dogs need to clear. Round the back there is Farmer. Ailey Farmer couldn't affect anything too damaging there for the Marlins as they get the first score of the quarter, which is a behind. 17 points to 2 as the Dogs look to affect the same play as the Marlins did to them in the first term. Feldman underneath it, couldn't grab it. Nice little spin there by Steele. Came out of the congestion, looking to pick it up Stevens. Good pressure here from the Dogs. Cleared away there by Hall. Brought to the middle. Connick underneath it. Ball bounced around her. She's got the presence of mind to pick it up and dump it straight back inside 50 again. On the little turn there was Patton. Got it out and across. I think that was Elliott. And it's gone through for a point. That's a long boot from her, Sophie Elliott, the 7. 2 behinds in a row. They need to capitalise on the scoreboard, Corey.
They do. Pleasing signs are, though.
Really
They've gotten
good.
the first 2 scores in the second quarter here. They've obviously had a great rev up. They've fine-tuned a few things because they're managing to follow on from that good 5-minute period at the end of the first quarter where they just kept sending the ball back towards their forward line. You are right, Ash, though. They do need a major score at the end of all of this hard work, but they seem to be outplaying the Bulldogs further afield as well as in their forward line at the moment. In saying that, the Bulldogs have the ball now, and that is a beautiful piece of play. What a wonderful precision kick, and it finds Sullivan. She slowed down a little bit. Unfortunately, by doing that, she's allowed the opposition to sort of catch up as well. And they've spoilt that marking contest. And Nelson Bay are all over it at ground level like a flurry of ants on a whatever food. As the Nelson Bay Marlins, they've got a hold of the ball again. Toe poked it forward. Vo from the Bulldogs is there. She kicks in the action of being swung in a tackle. And a whistle's been blown. It looks like, is it Vo getting the free kick for that? It might have been a little bit of a sling at the end of that tackle, I think. So, well, it's not her taking the kick, it's Huggins, but she goes long and a great mark taken. I quite like the hands of Sullivan. She's taken a couple of great marks above her head, just crisp, clunking one grabs. So, a little bit of trouble for the Marlins who've done all the work so far this quarter. And Sullivan, I think she'd be well out of her range in terms of scoring a goal. Comes slightly off the side of the boot, but pressure now all over the Marlins, but it's got in the hands of Amy Pittman, and it's always dangerous when it's there. Her quick kick, though, brings up her second behind, I think, for the day. One of only 2 goals kicked so far. As the minor score is registered, and we send a search party out to retrieve the ball. So they will bring it back in. Ash, I'm really interested to see how they re-enter this time. So the ball's in the hands of Gainsford, who doesn't run quite as far, maybe a little nervous this time, but a kick was errant anyway. And they've got work to do now, the Marlins. Is Connick trying hard to get the ball out? No, that's Annalise Norton, I'm sorry, and a free kick given. So I'm not sure that was any more effective, Ash, and when the ball was turned over, it's closer to goal.
Yeah, I think she's just got to keep taking the game on as they bring it inside 50. Or is that a grab? Not quite. Trying to work it out here. Sullivan goes back to Ruby Leo. Oh, great tackle. Was it a sling, though? And it's going to be a free kick to Nelson Bay. They've given it to them, and it's fair enough. So they work away with the footy now, the Marlins. Get it out almost beautifully intercepted there by the recently Allied selected Emma McCallum, who's playing in the All-Australian Championships in a few weeks' time. That's a lovely kick in there to Sullivan, and Sullivan will take it about 40 metres out. The number 36 of Warners Bay was just selected with Maitland's Aurelia Russell. As that ball goes nice and long.
Good news.
Players converging around the ball everywhere there. 33 is Bronkhurst. That one's rushed through for a behind. Yeah, it's great news for the comp. Two players, and yeah, Emma McCallum, she's been pretty good. She's very, very selective about where she runs, which is what I've noticed in this game. She doesn't expend any energy she doesn't have to, and that's coaching from an elite academy. As she just about gets that one there, does she? Takes the mark. Beautiful skills there from McCallum. And she runs around and sends it deep to a space. Younger just needs to snap and finish. Magnificent. The experience of Amy Younger and the youthful exuberance of Emma McCallum combined for the third for Warners Bay. And they extend the lead to 22. Corey, they're doing well when it gets down there.
I do apologise. I've been calling Amy by her former surname.
I think she likes Pitto.
Does she?
Yeah, loves Pitto. She just call me Pitto.
Yeah. I do apologise. Yes. So I'm going to check with her later on, actually, because I don't want to get it wrong. That was some great work by McCallum, by the way, and undoes the great start from the Nelson Bay Marlins. It shows how costly it can be when you do all that work, spend all that energy, and don't get the major score, and your opposition's able to do that. But that was some more classy work by Pitto down there at ground level. And another goal extends the lead. But they're not out of it yet. I think it's just a matter of fine-tuning a couple of things for the Marlins. I think they're equal in terms of their match play. As Connick gets another free kick, this is the second centre clearance and the second kick that she's managed to win out of it. So getting on top in the ruck duel, one might suggest, as the Marlins tackled there, that's a free kick. Just tried to do a little too much with it then, unfortunately, was Burgraff. So the ball back with the Bulldogs. Anderson, long kick down to the wing. Equal numbers at ground level there for both sides. And it's the Marlins through Norton who get hold of it. They don't, ineffective with a couple of hand passes, and it's created a bit of a turnover. But they've got enough numbers there that they've maintained possession of it. Connick gets the kick to Burgraff. She wheels around on her right boot, sends it long. So another chance now for the Marlins. They're doing everything right, getting it to their forwards. They need their forwards to stand, and they certainly have here. And a free kick is ensuing. And the Marlins will have a shot on goal now. So, repaid for their hard work. Kick will fall short of travelling the distance to goal. But they've got numbers there, and they've read it beautifully off hands. Shot on goal is wide of the mark. And out of bounds on the full in the end. But they've got...
He's given it a
point,
is it?
Yep. Okay, so minor score. Pleasing, not thrilling.
I like how they work it in, though, Chop. You know, especially if it's in the hands of Norton or Connick, you know it's going to go forward.
Yeah, that's right. They've got a couple of likely forwards down there in Steele and Norton, so they've got every chance of being able to get a few scores, one would think.
Lovely spiral kick there from Burge. This could be a lasso if it's not touched. Well played. That was Norton. Got it on the boot. Nice effort from the back there. Stevens to try and mark it. Burgraff. Back and across, work there to Lack. Lack got it forward. Over the back there of Patton. Patton still working with it. Burge did well for Warners Bay in defence. So just just over 9 minutes to go until half-time. Warners Bay, they've crept out to a 21-point lead. It doesn't feel like a 21-point lead, but that's the lead they've got so far. Norton tried to do it all on her own, couldn't get there. Nice pressure there, especially from Wallace. And it was still working here. Traynor got the tap forward. Wellings getting herself on the outside of the contest. It's where she likes to be. Can do both. She's very dangerous inside and out, but the outside's where she prefers to play her football. So that ball goes down to the turf, working through the pack there. That's the 13 of Wallace, who gets down on hands and knees to try and get it. Feldman worked through. Traynor. Two opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of a number, one and the 99, and I think Shane almost had a bit of a loss
Apologies
of
for that.
camera malfunction, equipment malfunction.
Just worth letting the fans know that he is on a roof doing his best there.
So that hand pass almost got there to Toscano. Yeah, he's about as highway to the danger zone as it gets here.
Yeah.
As that went round the corner from Van Donselaar. Hand pass, Norton couldn't get it past. Feldman again, left it behind. Warners Bay really stellar in defence so far. They work hard in numbers to move it to about the 50. Need to kick it. Beautiful chase down. That was Connick. She'll get a free.
This is great determination. That's the sort of stuff that'll fire the side up. They really need a major now, Ash.
Gainsford, long bomb, looking pretty good. How's the defence? Burge underneath it again. She's been excellent. That's a tunnel ball. Could have been a throw. Toscano underneath it, working to get it. Free kick, Nelson Bay. That'll be for a hold. Good umpiring. Free kick goes to Toscano.
They deserve this, Ash.
Yeah, well, let's hope they can get it. It's they've been a lot closer than the 21 points. I've said it a few minutes ago. She runs around the mark, kicks it straight, puts it home. Marlin's on the board.
It feels like it was a long time coming, doesn't it? It's been pretty equal in terms of the possession of the ball and the time spent in the forward lines, even though the scoreline doesn't necessarily describe that. But that was a long time coming and very well deserved. They just stuck at it. They finally grinded one out. So I dare say they might go on a little bit of a roll here, the Nelson Bay Marlins.
Yeah, they've got the capability. Both sides, I think, are quite even. The 15-point margin, I wouldn't say it's flattering to Warners Bay. They've earned it, but yeah, Nelson Bay, they've got the capability to come back, Corey.
Well, there's one player at the tricolour end that is all class and just reads the ball beautifully at ground level, and she's gotten 2 goals so far. So we're still going to determine what we're going to call her, though. So, but I think you all know what I mean. As Burgraff takes off, she sends another one in the forward line for the Marlins. They're under pressure now, the Warners Bay defence. They've been solid all day. As the hand pass goes further towards goal, and someone's held again there, definitely is. And that time, Annalise Norton, who's playing a ripping game at the moment, she's absolutely everywhere. She's going to get another shot on goal here. So an opportunity to go back-to-back for the Marlins, and they'd be thrilled by this if she puts it through. Definitely deserves a goal. It's going to fall short and be slightly wide of the mark. I think it crossed the line for a minor score. It did indeed. So one way or another, that still counts as creeping closer to the leaders. So the score now, 1-5-11, Nelson Bay Marlins, and the Warners Bay Bulldogs 3-7-25. 14-point margin, which in the grand scheme of things is probably not that much, especially the way the Marlins are considering it. They're electrifying at the moment. They're firing up. They want to close that margin and get in front. And they are in control of the ball in the same way that it was going the way of the Warners Bay side in that first quarter. So we inch towards the half-time. They've got it again now, the Marlins out of that stoppage. A couple of hand passes went awry, and now the Bulldogs have to respond. They've gotten it out of the danger zone. Pittman / Younger. Hand passes out wide to her outside runners. It's on the wing now with Huggins. She toe pokes one forward, and cleverly so. Hand pass inboard. They're running towards their goal now, the Bulldogs. This is their response. They've got a player out on their own. It's a foot race now to get this loose ball. Marlins converging 2-on-1 now. They've done well here to get to the contest before the player had a chance to get hold of it. And we'll have a stoppage. They've done extremely well, the defence of the Marlins, to get there and stop any scoring opportunity for the Bulldogs. Tap down. Pittman comes firing through. And another whistle will give the Marlins an exit strategy here. So a free kick going to Callahan. And she's found a target further afield. Yeah, I think that was her captain, wasn't it, in Feldman, Ash?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yep. So, yeah, so the Bulldogs now, opportunity to score. Scrambling, trying to get hold of it. Very impressed with the Marlins' recovery here at the moment, Ash.
Yeah, doing well. Almost getting it there, Younger. Burgraff tackled. And Younger again looking to get it. Pittman across. That was a hand pass to Wallace, who sent that ball deep inside 50. And it's over the boundary line and out of bounds. So about 3.5 minutes to go until half-time. This game is far from over by any means. That goal has really brought the Marlins back into it. So that one comes out. That's going to be out in the full, possibly. Yep.
Was it touched off the boot, Ash?
Just got to see what the umpire's decision is. It looks like it's going to be a free kick here to the Dogs. Just looking to see who's taking this one. It's Abby McKenzie, who's got a decent right foot. I think she'll look to put this to the top of the square and do the discipline thing. She goes all the way. Thought she might have gone to the square then. Went for goal. Missed it. 3 goals, 8. Warners Bay, 26 versus 1-5-11. So perfect conditions for football. Yet we've got 4 goals, 13 as a total between the two sides. That tells you the pressure. The implied pressure in the defence. Rush kicks. Having to manipulate the football under a lot of pressure is underneath that football, Jazzy Wellings. And she's got that one very comfortably. She's a terrific footballer. Sends this one inside 50, but the target's missed, and the Marlins get away. Driving it to the wing. Moving it over the top there. Here go the Marlins. Great little sneaky hand pass there by Bauer. Still in dispute. And Wellings again gets a football that she otherwise wouldn't have. Great tackle there. McCullum tried to keep it going. Did the hard stuff. That was brilliant. Wonderful chase down and continued pressure there on Amy Steele. That'll be a free kick to Emma McCullum. And she'll take it just on the centre wing. Under 2 minutes to go. Nice driving kick of around about the 40 metres. That's a great mark. Is that Feldman?
Yes.
Top mark there, Chop.
Yeah, she did very well, didn't she? There was no doubt that was going to be a mark to her, and she's placed the ball beautifully there too. Mark taken by Stevens on this occasion. Her kick almost just slightly offside, and the Bulldogs have read it better. Kicking close to the wing. They are literally hugging the boundary line right now. Can't see who has the ball at this stage, but the kick's taken nonetheless. As it travels a little bit. It's a real game of chess here at the moment. Little inches forward for one side and the other. Ball's carried over the boundary line. Then, I think that was by Norton, who I think is, for my mind, best on ground so far. She's on fire. Great ruck duel there. Hard to say who got the better of it, but certainly Jasmine Wellings didn't have full control of the ball before she was tackled there, so she gets a free kick right here on the wing, underneath our noses here in the scene commentary box. As Wellings takes her kick. Plucked out of the sky by the Marlins. I can't see the player for the hut roof there, but the kick's good. So mark taken by Stevens again, who did it moments ago. Kicks it long towards the forward line. But Nelson Bay Marlins have about 30 seconds to try and get a score before halftime arrives. It doesn't look like that'll be the case. Now it's up to the Bulldogs, and Brunkhorst takes off. Long right boot, surging kick into the forward 50 for the Bulldogs. Can they finish off with a goal? Bumped off the ball there where the Bulldog forward. And now the Marlins are going to reply. We've got 10 seconds left to go. It might be a little bit too difficult for a score now, but it certainly will bring up an end to what's been a very entertaining second quarter indeed, where the Marlins virtually played themselves back into the game. Still a little off the pace yet, but they certainly showed signs that they're capable of chasing down that lead, Ash.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what Glenn Way to do at halftime. I don't know, the coach in me, I don't know. I don't have a great coaching pedigree, but the coach in me says maybe put Annalise Norton at centre-half forward for a bit more forward pressure. They've got Gainsford, who's at centre-half back, who's doing a great job there, and you've got Connick, who's dominating the ruck, but
they've got to get that re-entry
it's
kick,
that
right?
link
between
the centre and full forward. That's probably the only thing I can see that they're missing at the moment. Half-time here at Dick Burwell over. Warners Bay lead it by 15 points. Amy Younger with all the goals for the Dogs. 3-8-26 plays Nelson Bay. 1-5-11. Be back after the extended break. Brief by, because I know she's she's very special to us anyway. We think she's just terrific, and want to do her justice by giving her a bit of a lead in. And for mine, she's one of the best AFL Hunter Central Coast ever players, recognised for versatility, composure, and relentless effort on the field. She's got strong work rate, clean ball use, game awareness, and a team-first mentality. And you see that a lot in their games where Sarah will almost deliberately not be in contest to let her players in, and I love that about her. I think she's great at that. Pick number 61 in the 2019 National Draft. She played for the GWS in 2020 and 2021 alongside Nelson Bay rival Lisa Steen. And then she commenced her footy career with Newcastle City in the 2017 Cup, kicking 34 goals in the first season, and then she backed it up with 53 in 2018 and won a premiership in 2018-2019. She played most of the 2020 season, and I believe she got drafted, so didn't get to play in the grand final. She came back to dominate the competition again after her time in AFLW, winning best on ground in the 2022 premiership and then backed it up with the 2023 flag. So all up, she's got 5 premiership medallions. She's the inaugural Nadine McBride medalist for best on ground in a rep game in 2023, which is real testament to her. And in 117 games for Newcastle City, you'd be hard-pressed to find a game she hasn't played well in. She's played had 216 career goals and 66 best-ons or one of the best-on performances. She's just not a consistent performer. She's a game changer. In one of the most puzzling and mind-boggling phenomena in AFL HCC football, Shane, Calvo's never won a league best and fairest, so work that one out. And I don't think it'd bother her either, just quietly. But she's the reigning 2025 best and fairest for City. Sarah Elverson, welcome to the Black Diamond podcast. And she's blank.
There we go. Finish it. How are you, Sarah?
Hey,
good. How are you guys?
Yeah, really
good. How are you?
Well, welcome to the Black Diamond podcast. We obviously spoke with Caitlin a little bit earlier in the year, and I think she's the talker of the family. So we'll try and go easy with our questions for you and keep it nice and casual.
Dropped out. Sorry.
Oh, you're right, mate.
You're good. Kick us off. Tell us the backstory. How did you get into AFL footy?
It's a bit of a boring story, but my dad grew up. Well, I grew up. Dad was watching footy all the time. He's an AFL guy, so kind of just through that. And then there wasn't really much pathway for girls in Newcastle when I was young, but yeah, when the women's comp came around, I thought I'd give it a go, and been there ever since.
Yeah, because your dad played a bit of footy, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's from Perth, so he played over there, and then a bit in Melbourne, and then played for Newcastle City when he was a bit older. So yeah, full circle.
Excellent. And not many people know, but you're a New South Wales rugby rep and a first grade footballer at Northern New South Wales Football. I've actually called you once in a game, and I just didn't make a connection for some silly reason until after you scored. How does footy compare to those two sports for you?
I think footy's the best part of every sport, in my opinion. You get to do the tackling you get in rugby, all the kicking in soccer and running around. But yeah, it's just the best combo. So it's my favourite out of all of them. Fair
enough. In the introduction piece there, Ash mentioned, of course, you were drafted down to the Giants. Tell us a little bit about how that felt.
Yeah, it was a while ago now, but yeah, pretty awesome experience. Very exciting when it happens. But yeah, just as a young woman, it was a pretty awesome experience to have. So yeah,
I believe you were sitting at home listening on the radio or something like that, or watching it on the TV. Is that right?
I was actually at work back then. Yeah, I was watching on my laptop at work. So I was heading in the corner.
Hopefully they didn't dock you too much time off there.
No, they were easy on me.
So talk to us about, I guess there'd be a fair few young ladies and aspiring AFL draftees that want to make it to the next level. And I know you've got a few in your team, like Ruby and people like Elkie. What are some of the standards that they set at the highest level that you've learned from, and what do some of the young players need to do in our league to work on to get to that point from where you?
Yeah, I think like once you get to that top level of sport, I guess everyone's got great skills and is great at footy, but I think the thing, in my opinion, that probably sets people apart is attitude, and it's how, for example, how you take feedback, or if you've been dropped the week before, how you get around the team in the week, and yeah, just things like that just set people apart. Because as I said, at that level of footy, everyone's skills are amazing. It's how you differentiate from that top 10% to the next level is small things like that, and just commitment, I guess, just practicing and just the usual things. But yeah, that attitude piece, in my opinion.
You talk about commitment and the stuff that happens off the footy field. What's your sort of regime for, fitness and preparation? What's that like off the footy field? Because you just seem to be able to run all day, and every year I think you come back looking fitter and whatever every season.
I think you're being a bit kind there, but I think it's a bit of genetics as well. But these days with the little baby on board now, it's a bit different. But yeah, try to go to the gym. I like to run around and kick the footy outside of training as well. But yeah, I think I'm just lucky with genetics that I'm just a fit person. But yeah.
Chasing the kid around probably helps too, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely.
Both in there, that's for sure. Look, Newcastle City is a club. You're a one-club player, really. What sets them apart from all the other teams in the AFL Hunter Central Coast?
Yeah, I've been there a while now, so they must be doing something right. But yeah, they've got a great culture. I've been there pretty early since the women's comp started, and they've just been so supportive of the women's team, and they've got 3 teams now, so it's pretty unique. And recently, just with the family side of things, like with Katie and I both playing in the same team, just being so supportive of that and adaptable, I guess. Like last year, we had to kind of juggle it a bit more, and sometimes we had to sit out a quarter of a game. But yeah, Coach Brett was always very supportive. So it's just little things like that, I think.
Yeah, and it seems to be working. Obviously, the group's ticking along really nicely. Still undefeated. Came close to it on the weekend, but that was a fantastic game as well. Now, the clubs is ticking along nicely. We're seeing plenty of young talent come through there, and Ash mentioned Elkie and Ruby. We saw Mila Tucker on the weekend have a fantastic game as well. Can you tell us about some of the young talent there that we should start to write down in our notebooks to keep an eye out for? Who's the up and coming talent there in City?
Yeah, like you said, there's a few of them. We're good at retaining our juniors at the moment, which is great. But yeah, Elkie Long's a gun. Mila Tucker's been so good the few games she's played with us so far. Leah Cookman, we've got Ruby Watson, Willow, and Billy used to be a junior. So yeah, I've got a handful there, which is awesome.
And you've been in a league for a while now, and one of the first years of the comp. Throughout the time you've been playing, who have been some of the best players to play with in City, and who have been some of the best ones to play against?
Ooh, that's a hard question. There could be a big list.
A lot
there.
of them, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I am biased, but I think Caitlin Holcomb's pretty good to play with.
Yeah, she goes all right.
Yeah, she's all right. Back in the day, I don't know if you guys know her, but Ash Helly, I think she's from Wagga. She was great. I was playing the forward line when she was playing, and the deliveries I got were pretty good. So have to put her up there. And like you said, these days, just that junior contingent coming through, like Mila, she's one of the best players in our team at the moment, which is great. And then, yeah, Ruby Sparks really good this year. So yeah, heaps of good players.
Yeah, for sure. Now, before we let you go, Sarah, anyone you wanted to give a shout out to?
Oh, shout out.
Hey.
No, not really.
Oh, it could be a fine later for the club.
Yeah. Oh, this is a stitcher. No, nothing else from me. Thanks, guys.
Nah, it's terrific. Look, it's an honour for us. I know that, and I've been around the league for a very long time. So, no, you're one of the best we've ever had, and a real trailblazer for women's football in the region. One of the first to be drafted. So, should be really proud of everything you've done in this comp, Sarah. And I know you're very humble, but yeah, I mean every word I say when I say you're one of the best and one of our favourites anyway. So, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute honour for us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Means a lot.
Take care. See you around the grounds.
See you guys.
Welcome back from the extended break. We're at half-time here at Dick Burwell Oval here in Nelson Bay. And the Warners Bay side, 3 goals, 8-26. The Dogs lead it by 15 points. Nelson Bay, 1 goal, 5-11. Hope you enjoyed the Black Dom podcast, the little section there on Sarah Halverson. Shane and I did a couple of weeks ago. It's just, it's fabulous to talk to players, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And we were just saying off camera watching that, saying how intimidated we were by Sarah, and she was just brilliant.
Well, we had the Zote the week before with Beth Wood, and then we followed up with the GOAT with Sarah Halvo. So we've had some fantastic guests throughout the year. And if you're not watching that drops on the AFL HCC YouTube page, generally around on a Thursday, sort of Thursday lunchtime-ish. And you can hear Ash and myself rabbit on about all things AFL HCC, but we get some great guests on there, Ash.
Yeah, absolutely. So generally we try to get the scene stealers, so the 2 players we judge best on field, on his commentary team, to get a $50 voucher from Six Strings Brewery. This week also we're looking to try and get Wyong Lakes as they get to their 50th anniversary celebration. Well, actually it's their 51st now because they were postponed last year, but they're having it next Saturday as we restart the second half here, and the first real possession was from Jaslyn Stevens. McCullum, superb hand pass over the top. That was to Daly. Younger underneath it. Bounce wasn't favourable. Bronkhurst takes a bounce. Looks to sidestep. Went on the check side. Wasn't the best. Went round the body. It's 3-on-2 here of it. Warners Bay can get a hold of it. That looked a little high on Sullivan. Hand pass went over the top. A second hand pass will put a teammate in space. That's Marley Bronkhurst. She kicks the first goal inside a minute. Well worked by the Dogs. And they get that lead back out to 20 points. 21 points. As we just rejoining us, Corey Hopper, after he finishes off the last of those Nelson Bay dimmies, which were absolutely superb at half-time.
There'll be a new topic this week on the midweek conversations, and that'll be about the canteen, the fair around the place, and the dim sims go straight to the top of the list. They are just delightful, as was that goal by the Warners Bay Bulldogs. 30 seconds into the match. Interesting to say, it's taken 30 seconds for the ball, 35 actually by the time we resume play. So not a bad result in the end. 30 seconds to get that goal. So pressure on the Marlins to respond, and that was a great knock, albeit not to the advantage of our own side there by Connick, but the Bulldogs have wrested control of it, sent it back onto their wing. They obviously got fired up at the half-time address. There's no doubt about that. They were on top of it. Little toe poke by Hall sends the ball inside the forward 50 again for the Bulldogs. First tour to the Marlins, though. Coming in to try and resuscitate things was Norton. She's there again. Head over the ball. Can't get it very close to the boundary line. In fact, we find it. So we'll have a stoppage just inside the forward 50 for the Warners Bay Bulldogs. And they've started blistering fashion. Tap inside. Huggins gets hold of it, but she's in turn hugged herself. But they get the ball out just in time. Play resumes. Pittman, the loose ball, trying to get hold of it, and does. Stifled by a bunch of Marlins, a school of them, you might say. High ball. Red best is Wellings, but her kick off the mark and out of bounds on the full. So free kick will go the way of the Marlins now. They'll need to react. The Bulldogs have come out firing. Taking the kick here is Callaghan, although there is a little bit of conjecture over what's going on here. Oh. And it looks like it's going to be a ball up instead. So
it must have been touched off the boot because that was definitely out of bounds.
It must have been, yeah. It looked like it definitely was travelling that trajectory off the boot. But nonetheless, the stoppage just puts a little more pressure on the defensive unit of the Marlins. So they've got hold of it here, shrugging the tackle. I think that was Stevens. Now it's in the hands of Mammoth. And the toe poke out. They're desperately trying to get themselves out of danger here, the Marlins. And he goes so far on that occasion as McCullum. She's a star in the making, and she sends one forward in a perfect position, and the mark's taken by Sullivan. So we could see another goal here by the Warners Bay Bulldogs, and it'd be the perfect start to the second half for them. Oh, touched on the line. Narrowly misses another goal there, but well done to Miller Gainsford. She's managed to save the day. So I'm interested to see. I hope they get this re-entry kick. Ash, I'll hand it over to you, mate. I just want to see this re-entry kick work because I'm going to celebrate. She sends one. This is it. They're going to pass the post now. Just needed a good kick. They're in beyond the 50. If they get the next possession now, I'm classing that as a win for Nelson Bay. That's as close to a win as we've had for him with that re-entry kick. I'm gunning it. It's going to work today. They're going to go coast to coast with a goal before the end of the day.
I'm actually a really big advocate for it. Actually, they're working hard to make that right.
They're varying. They've got varying ways of it to just try and see how it's going to work. So I'm backing it in.
Welling's backdoor hand pass. Mueller off the left, missing. 4 goals, 10 Warners Bay. 1 goal, 5 Nelson Bay. Lead is 23, so almost 4 goals to diff. Playing off halfbacks sort of towards the middle. Emma McCullum in the 36. She's been really pivotal in a couple of those attacks. As I said before, Miller Gainsford, they've just got to keep trying this. You've just got to keep backing yourself in. And here goes Gainsford again. She's run about 15 there. Sent it long. And that's a good mark. There we go. Shaylee Callahan. That's what they've been looking for. And here's that secondary kick. Nicely executed there. Went over the top to all the applause. That was pretty sure it was Jaslyn Stevens. Over the top to Steele. Nice effort to half forward. And the mark's taken in defence. Pretty sure that's Burge. She's going to go back to the wing and drive it long, but it's turned over. That mark's taken there. Pretty sure that's the number 8 of Evie Hole, or if it's not, it's Scarlett Lack. And another turnover ball. So a bit of aerial ping pong at the moment as it goes to Eve Wallace. So Wallace to the far side. Underneath there is Connick. So Connick will take a comfortable mark. The last 5 kicks have been intercepted. Let's see if we can get a chain of kicks that goes with the same team. Connick goes nice and long. Almost taken over the top. This is Patton underneath the ball. Nice little scrap underneath. Good tackle pressure. Holding the football. Burge will get the free again. She's been really good in defence. The number 15 for Warners Bay. Been a lot of the reason why the Dogs haven't only conceded 1 goal so far. Kick smothered. Steele tried to get it. That was a high shot. And just as she did well trying to smother it, she gave away the tackle for the high one. Burge will get another kick. So she's had 3 possessions in about 2 minutes. Goes nice and long with it again. Pack forms. Connick underneath it. It's going to be a high shot here, is it? Might have just gone out of bounds. So, Corey, it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment.
Yeah, a little stalemate. There's sort of, if anything, through that foray of exchanged kicks, Nelson Bay have seemed to have managed to gain at least probably 30 or 40 metres. It's definitely in their half of the ground now. Burgraff does well to shrug her opponent. She's trying to keep her feet. A couple of Bulldogs go to ground and errant hand pass in the end. It's a real scramble by under the net below the knees, but they're still moving towards their goal, the Marlins, and they've got a shot here now. It's in the hands of the Marlins now. On goal, and the goal is kicked by Scarlett Lack. Well, she didn't lack anything at all there. Showed some great pace, kept her feet, and just held that front position as the ball just momentum would have it going towards their goal line, and she's just done a superb job there with that goal, bringing up number 2 for the Nelson Bay Marlins and keeping them well and truly in the race.
Well, they're definitely not going away. They're 17 points down. That was a very nicely worked goal there by Nelson Bay. That put that down to persistence. Samantha Patton at 14 did very well.
It was a real 2 steps forward, 1 step back type of thing, wasn't it? But they ended up with the right step in the end.
They just kept willing it forward, and they're going to go again here through the agency of Norton, who just put down the football at the wrong time. It's at half forward here for the Marlins. A lot of Dogs there. Burgraff, nice little smother. Connick at the end of it. Burgraff putting the head over the footy. Backdoor handball to Connick, who went around the body. Players converge. Nice mark again. Zali Burge got under it at the right time. There's a short pass on here to McCullum if she wants it, but she ignores and goes long. Mueller, bounce of the football, not too bad. Hand passed it straight to the hands of Stevens, who gave away a free kick anyway, so Connick will have it.
Connick's really starting to have an influence now.
Starting to really get on the march. Gainsford, she's got a big boot. She's going to use it, and she's gone too far. And look where the ball is in the position of the 3 forwards, the 2 forwards there. They were right in the Marlins.
Probably less distance than Lily Davison travelled the other game, but anyway.
Yeah, geez, I tell you, she was right on it, wasn't she? I mean, I wouldn't discourage her from continuing to do that. I actually really enjoy the way Gainsford is playing it.
Takes the game on. That's what you want. You're going to make a few errors when you're young and you take the game on, but when it comes off, it'll come off in spades. Burgraff just takes that one out of bounds. I think she's trying to claim a kick here, but she'll give that back to the umpire. So almost in the first half of the third quarter down as Connick drags it down. Nicely done there to Toscano, one of the goal scorers who got... Oh, that was brilliant. Lovely shot. Still holding onto the footy like a teddy bear. She didn't want to give it up.
It was a mark.
And then she's given it away.
I don't understand. That was a mark.
Maybe not 15.
Might not have been the distance, yeah.
It travelled the full track.
Unlucky. We'll leave that one in the hands of the viewer as a 50-metre penalty against Steele for putting it on the ground. Anderson, she's about 55 out. What can she do? Sends it in the direction of Vo, who had no one on her. Shortest player on the ground, had no opponent. She's about 40 metres out, so not sure she'll get it. Amy Younger just peeling off to the left there. Maybe get the sneaky possession. Sent into the mixer, Sullivan. Too tall. Did well, got the hands up, and they stuck on this occasion. So all the hard work from Nelson Bay to peg the goal back. Can Sullivan take it back out to 23? No, but she can extend it to 18. Missed behind there. Unlucky for the Dogs. Really competitive game, fellas. It's great to see both sides just going back and forward in the open contest. It's been a joy to watch.
Probably a justifiable reprieve for Nelson Bay on that occasion. I think that would have been a real heartbreaker if they had conceded a goal off the back of the 50-metre penalty and that bit of play before. Would have been very controversial indeed. But there we are again. That's Gainsford kicking it forward, but they just cannot break that line. I'm really rooting for them being able to do that. They haven't been able to do it, and now the ball's in the hands of the Bulldogs. And the kick taken by a trainer of the Ava variety. She sent it deep inside their forward 50 again. So pressure on the defensive line of the Marlins. Working hard there is the captain, Feldman. And she's held the ball up enough to create a stoppage here. They need to get it out quickly, the Marlins. Get hold of the ball, little toe poke, doesn't travel a huge distance. Bulldogs are first to it at ground level, working very, very hard. There is Bronkhorst. It's rushed through for another behind. So they add to their tally now, 4-12-35 for the Warners Bay Bulldogs, 2-5-17. Not out of reach for the Marlins, there's no doubt about that, but they are now starting to have to consider time being an enemy. So we wait for Gainsford to get hold of the ball. She will take off again, no doubt, if my research serves me correct. She'll run her full measure of 15 metres and then take the kick, which she'd want to do now, and does. Long kick. There we go! We've got it. A mark on the second bit. Watch this go coast to coast. That's what I'm predicting. Taking off there and showing a massive burst of speed. That's Jaslyn Stevens. Unfortunately, Jasmine Wellings, the hungry mongoose, just ruins the party, and she's taken him up and kicked it back towards from whence it came. This time, Abby McKenzie takes the mark, and now here's a display of keeping hold of possession of the ball here. Bronkhorst has it now. The Bulldogs done very well. 3 kicks. That one smothered, though, and they've brought it to ground. They'll hold it up and create a stoppage. So it's very much 2 steps forward, 1 step back for the Marlins, isn't it?
Yeah. The best bit about Warners Bay's game today is their ability to kick 2 or 3 chip kicks for marks and move the ball down the ground.
Maintaining possession, mate, it's the thing.
It's been wonderful.
They don't call it football for no reason. If you aren't good by foot, then you struggle to win games. And not just running, but actually delivering the ball well over 20 and 40 metres is so critically important.
Yeah, nice mark taken there by Mariki Bauer. Or Riki, as she's like to be called, takes that forward, and that kick's going to get turned over. Dropped there by Ava Traynor. Taken there by Toscano. Driven long inside 50. Underneath it, trying to mark it there was Sarah Gabb. Drove it forward. McKenzie versus Feldman. Both players working hard. Support came in from the Dogs. Umpire said free kick to to Olivia Feldman. So 6.5 minutes in the quarter. 19 points the margin. Hope everyone's enjoying the stream here on the scene. Streaming on the scene, and we mean every word of it today, that's for sure. As Wellings mishandles the football. Toscano tried to get the foot on it. Moving that football forward go the Marlins. It's the way they kicked that last goal, but Wellings got the hand pass out. That was to Wallace, who dropped the football. Pressure still on here from the Marlins. Nice little effort by Stevens. Still working forward, and that one will just be reeled in. So Nelson Bay, they get the next goal, and this game is right up for grabs. It's a low-scoring contest. Every goal counts. Ball brought into the centre of the field, and that's Emma McCallum. Beautifully positioned. And here she goes, galloping away, the recently selected Allies player. Sent that ball about 40, 50 metres on the fly. Nice little toe there from Duffy. 2-on-2, now becomes 3 or 4-on-2 in favour of the Marlins. They'll need to get it away. Sullivan did well. Tackle pressure from Gray was superb. And I think the umpires stopped this game for a bit of a ball up. A lot of great one-on-ones around the field. Both sides really working hard as Jacinta Anderson in the number 3 comes on. Late to it was Trainer, but she affected the contest. Trying to get in there was Pavlu, who kicked 3 or 4 goals last week against Maitland. That one's another stoppage. So 8 rush behinds, as I can see here on these 2 little sheets, out of 17 total as they continue to work the footy. Stevens has been really good in the roving area for Nelson Bay today. Got that ball forward. Great chance here for the Marlins. High shot. They're going to get a free. Running down the field is Lack to try and get the touch. They need to move this football quickly. A little bit slow for mine, but Elliott's got a big boot. Mark nearly taken, ball to ground. Lack got the hand pass over the top. Dogs looking to get out of trouble, need to get it on the boot, and they do. They move it to about half back here for Warner's Bay. Underneath the football is Isabella Hall. Great tackle pressure by Hall. Play on, says the ump. Kicking it long down the field. Here goes Pavlu. Ball sat beautifully. Got it on the boot and moved it a little bit further forward. In the chase is Evie Hall. Left it for a teammate. That was Olivia Gray. Sullivan, hand pass back to Younger. Younger went central. She's got Chloe Huggins in about 30 metres of space if she can get it to her. Mackenzie goes long. Huggins just needs to turn and go. Huggins 15 metres out. Needs to finish and misses. That was a golden opportunity for the Dogs to just about ice the game, Chop, and they missed the sitter.
Yeah, massive let off there. I think they got maybe caught a little bit ball watching the defensive department of the Marlins. They've usually been pretty good and had the one-on-ones pretty much covered without too much space given. But that one was a real let-off because we know how good Huggins can be. But errant kick there lets them off. They've got to try and muster something here. Desperately need this second possession. Probably tackled an incorrect disposal. So they've done well on this occasion. Played on quickly. Marlins have the ball. Send it up high. 3 of them raffle it off. And the winner on that occasion is Charlotte Connick. No surprise there because she's really turning it on now in this third quarter. Hand pass out wide to a receiver. Long kick. They're in the centre of the ground now. Oh, blasting through is McCallum. She's all class. She kicks it forward looking for Pittman. Pittman's got a little bit of space to work here. Kicks quickly. Looking towards goal. Little gobbler kick and it's a goal.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. Goal umpire's got no idea what to do. Yes, he decides it's a goal. Why? Because it was a goal. The most unbelievable dog leg bounce you could ever hope for. Only the very best do that sort of stuff, and Amy Pittman/Younger is one of those.
Well, she's on track for a bag. She's got 4. Have a look at this from Amy Younger in the replay. She's about 35 metres out. The intention was to put in the goal square. Have a look at that bounce. And the umpire actually tapped himself to say it was a behind. And then he said, nah, it's a goal. Just give it to her.
It looked a goal from where we were.
Yeah, it looked good
Definitely
from here.
goal. And no doubt she practices that at training every single week just in case she gets a chance at it.
She'll say it was deliberate.
I'd like to know how you do that to make it bounce like that. I can do it, but it always goes the opposite direction.
That would have been one that Shane Wong would have been proud of, I reckon, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So that ball comes out. Nelson Bay, every time they get within a sniff, Warners Bay get the goal. Wellings out of the congestion, gets it forward. This is Bronkhurst and Younger. Younger tried to tap it on for the teammate. Well worked there from Gainsford. That goes to the pack. We've got about 90 seconds to go until three-quarter time here. Match after this one for Stream on the scene is Nelson Bay, Newcastle City. A fascinating clash as Newcastle City still undefeated. Nelson Bay really have tested their opponents for long periods. Had a great win against Cardiff last weekend after kicking 8 goals in a 15-minute spell in that final term to get the job done by 40-odd points. So we're inside 50. Can Warners Bay get the finisher here in this last 60 seconds? Norton went to ground, ball in the hands of Callaghan. Umpire said, I'll have it again. So that last minute, they just need to hold the Marlins. Underneath it there again is Callaghan. She's been pretty solid for Nelson Bay, the number 9. It's Connick and Mueller. Great duel between those two. Ball came out, looking to get it. Wellings applied the challenge. Norton moved it forward. Great little gather there from Daly. Daly brought it inside, back to the congestion. Feldman took the mark, ran away from McKenzie, sent it forward looking for the late goal. Hands not effective, trying to keep it in front of her. Wellings did well, put the body in the way. Sat underneath the football and eroded another 20 or 30 seconds of time. So the only team that could possibly score here from this are the Dogs. Olivia Feldman says, I think we'll go into a three-quarter time break with a bit of a deficit, enough to try and catch. Norton gets the last possession of the third term, and we go to three-quarter time. Warners Bay, through the agency of Amy Younger, 4 goals, and Marley Bronkhurst a single, lead at 5-13-43. Nelson Bay 2-5-17, Scarlett Lack and Ella Toscano with the goals. Chop, it's been a really interesting, fascinating match. Do you think Nelson Bay have got enough in this final term to peg back the 26?
It's not beyond them, but it always concerns me when a side's only kicked 2 goals for 3 quarters and they need 3 goals. But they've got to kick more than their accumulated total at three-quarter time to win. It's always just usually a little beyond reach. They're not incapable, but I think the Warners Bay Bulldogs got this one wrapped up now.
Yeah, the experience of Amy Younger, the difference so far. Nelson Bay by 26. We'll go into the final break.
Yeah, having a big whinge about the Blasuba or whatever. I'm like, dude, you lost by a country mile. Yeah, but that's a bit.
They're at quarter time, no score.
Yeah. Are we going to do around the grounds or are we get? Still waiting for the Doggies.
No score, Carney Vale, quarter time.
Boys ready?
Welcome back to Dick Burwell Oval. Just absolutely perfect afternoon for football here. The grass is green, the sky is blue, and the commentators are pumped to bring you the very last quarter of the Black Diamond Cup Women's Division. Great game between the host team, Nelson Bay Marlins, who are trailing at the moment the travelling Warners Bay Bulldogs, who are going along in some fine fashion, showing some fast improvement this season, and are currently leading today 2-5-17, 5-13-43. This is the final quarter. Will the Nelson Bay Marlins have what it takes to try and claw back that total? Well, stick with us and you'll certainly find out. We're off and racing now. And a great start, a free kick almost immediately going the way of the Marlins. Number 24, Annalise Norton, who's been one of the finest on the pitch today. She kicks it long, gets it deep inside the forward 50, and a great lead up and mark taken by Scarlett Lack, one of the goal kickers for the Nelson Bay Marlins. And it
That's
looks
50.
like a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, 100% too. Ruby Leo, the 46 for Warners Bay, ran straight through the mark.
Right, well,
Straight through it.
that is going to bode very well for Nelson Bay, because a goal within a minute of the start of the last quarter would be just what the doctor ordered. It's still a hard task for him to come back from here, but Scarlett Lack's already kicked one today, and I reckon she kicked a ripping goal in the third quarter. She will kick this without too much trouble at all, straight through the middle, so that shot absolutely carves off 6 points from that deficit. And maybe there's some life left in the Nelson Bay Marlins. It's been a very equal footing in terms of their match play. They just haven't been able to finish off the way that Amy Younger has been able to do at the other end for the Warners Bay Bulldogs. So let's see what they have in store for the next 19 minutes.
So Nelson Bay, they've got the youth and they've got the run. And this is against Warners Bay's experience and guile. They've been beaten by Amy Younger and her guile deep in the forward line. Can they run themselves into victory? So they move the ball forward here through the agency of Stevens. Lovely little soccer off the deck. That was about 25 or 30 metres on the fly. That moves a little bit further forward for the Dogs. Back with the another recycle. Vo, lovely hand pass. Just sold a teammate into a little bit of trouble. And I think she's going to get the free kick here. Laura Daly, she played that very well. Didn't really take possession of it. Umpire didn't have much choice. McCullum's in the centre if they want to go to her. They've ignored her about 4 or 5 times doing that. She's made brilliant runs into the middle, Emma McCullum. Norton working hard against Leo. Norton did beautifully. Went to ground though. Daly tried to soccer it. Steele went to work through it. This is Wellings around the corner. A little bit off radar there as she puts that one out of bounds on a full. Gives her teammates a few high fives on the bench. They all say to her, don't worry about that one, Jazzy. You've kept us in many games in the past. One kick's not going to do you any harm. Sets very high standards for herself, Jazzy Wellings, as that one goes through. Bounces off the chest of Traynor Allen. Working with the footy now is Evie Holt. Drives it into a bit of open space. Looking to get it here is Anderson. Needs the ball to sit. Just about did. Working off the footy there, Toscano. Lovely hand pass over the top there to Elliott. keep moving it forward, the Marlins, and this is how they've been able to get the goals. Great smother. That was beautiful from Stevens. Working on the football there is Wallace. Norton drove it back inside 50. It's 3-on-2 here. If they can make this work, Nelson Bay, Patton on the outside, umpire's blowing the whistle. And Corey, the Dogs are going to get out of trouble here. Actually, no, Nelson Bay get a free kick here to Ella Toscano, who's put one through the big sticks already today. Can she do it again?
Ella Toscano, 35 out. She's got an option closer to goal. She likes it. I think it was Burgraff there who tried to take the mark. I wasn't able to do it. Well, they're not going to get the goal, but they'll certainly keep the ball inside their forward 50. And stoppage will be ensuing here. So dangerous spot for the Bulldogs, and it would be a fine time for the Bulldogs, the Marlins, to get themselves another goal here in this final term. Great pick up there. That was Toscano again. Hand passes into traffic, unfortunately. They've got it out of the congestion, but it's a Bulldog that's first at it, and that's Ella Trainer. They're not able to get out of it cleanly, though. And I think it just went out of bounds, so we'll basically restart exactly what we saw moments ago. Ball up now. Tap out to the back. More Bulldogs than Marlins, but no clean possession again. So it's been taken out and moved ever so slightly away from goals for the Marlins. Up again. Tap inboard. They are trying to work this out as best they can. The players out there, they've tapped it back inside to the inboard on the ground. Marlins have got hold of it. Calling for a high contact there. That was Van Dosselaar, but nothing doing. Tap out by the Bulldogs. There's Pittman's younger. I'll get used to that before too long. Bronkhorst just showing a turn of speed far out. She can move. Looping hand pass there. Now all of a sudden the Bulldogs have a chance to score. Inside their forward 50, Huggins hand passes to no one in particular. Pittman's followed up her fine work before. Left foot. She finds a target. Abby McKenzie takes the mark. Had all the time in the world to kick that goal. And it's gone off the side of the boot. So an opportunity goes begging, and McKenzie knows it too. A real shame there. Probably could just about have put the game away. But, boy, that miss has given the Marlins ever so slightly a sniff at it. So now a stoppage at the other end. Pittman just left completely unattended. Unfathomable why that would happen. But it has. And a point has been the direct result of her not having an opponent on her. And here we go again, bringing it out. It's a little dummy sold, learnt from last lesson, kicked it. We are beyond the 50. This is how it's meant to work. Pushing it forward. They've got players forward of the contest. They just needed to keep paddling it, the Marlins, didn't they? But they were unable to do it. Warners Bay have arrested control of the ball. They've got numbers here now. They're under pressure, the Marlins defence. They've done well. They've got a toe poke out of direct hazard. But they've overran it with those kicks, and now the Bulldogs have it again. No, they don't. The Marlins have it again. Ash, over to you.
Ball came over the top. McCullum bossing it in the centre of the park there. Lovely hand pass to Traynor. Allen got it over the back. Bronkhurst went with it. Tried to work with her as if Ellie Duffy did well. Trying to paddle it out. Over the back there, McKenzie. Probably needed to stay up, but she got there in the end. Got her foot to the ball. This might not have been touched. Huggins is over it. Can she pick it up and go clean? Lovely little hand pass back. Just didn't hit the target. Nice tackle there by Evie Hole, but it was illegal, and the Dogs will get a free. Aniston Pavlu to finish it off for Warners Bay. This goal will pretty much seal it. 26-point lead with 12 minutes to go. Might just be a bridge too far. She kicked a few goals last week. She's got a name on the score sheet. I reckon that's it for the Dogs. 6 goals, 14-50. And the Warners Bay side, just having a look at the scoreboard there again. It's 3-5-23. Why do I do this every week, Shane and Chop? I look at the scoreboard, not the one on the TV.
Yeah. You squint to see that one over there. It's almost as big.
All I have to do is focus on the one that's about a metre in front of me.
That's an impressive scoreboard, isn't it, though?
Yeah, it's a good-sized scoreboard. I don't know how you missed that one.
No, I was waiting for the graphic to end up there. It was a TV graphic of someone kicking a goal. So 27 points the lead, Corey, as we go back to the middle.
Yeah, back in the middle now. I think it's beyond the reach of the Marlins, but they put up a terrific effort. It's great to see the Warners Bay Bulldogs just improving out of sight every week. We've watched them come a long way over the last few seasons, and they are really starting to emerge, kicking some big scores and showing some great competitive nature. And it's just another pleasing thing to see coming out of Fayen Oval there. We've watched the Bulldogs rise and rise and rise with their men's group over the last few seasons, and good to see the women's side is now starting to follow suit. So we wish them all the best. I dare say they'll take this one out. There's still 12 minutes or 11 minutes left to go in the contest. Wellings incorrect. The umpire signalled incorrect disposal. Yep, no, standing by his guns. Well done. That's the way. No one's standing on the mark as a result. So they gained an extra 10 metres inadvertently. The Marlins pick up, hand pass, quick kick there by Connick. Didn't gain a lot of ground. It's now a scramble below the knees. The Bulldogs desperately trying to get hold of it and get it out of the danger area. McCullum tackled, incorrect disposal there. Connick, great tackle. And they look very similar, those two guys, from that angle, McCullum and Connick, but I can assure you they're not the same person. The kick goes long. Nelson Bay, an opportunity. Hand pass by succession of the Bulldogs gets them out of danger. McKenzie paddles one through the legs. Arriving to end the party here is Feldman, the captain of the Marlins, and a free kick has been found. That'll go to Van Dosselaar. She's waiting for an option to present itself. Long kick. She's got a good boot. Sends it deep into the forward 50 for the Marlins. They've still got hold of the ball. Great, desperate, crunching defensive tackle by the Bulldogs has created an option for them to get the ball out of danger, and they do. McCallum, 1-2 there. She does that neatly with Caitlin Hall, and they are well and truly on their way now, the Bulldogs. Some great work. Broncos can't get hold of it. Toe poking it forward again, the Bulldogs. So they're gaining ground as they go. Foot race now. Sees equal number of players from both sides arrive at the ball, but no one's going to emerge with it with any cleanliness. And umpire says, I'll have a ball up. Connie. Sorry, Bash, you go for it, mate. No, you're right,
mate. Back to the ball up they go. One of the big features, though, Chop, in this game, mate, has been some of the ball movement when they get open. It's been as good as any of the top sides today. And that's both teams. They just work really well off hands. Here's an opportunity here for Elliott. Nice long ball, but there's only Megan Sawkins. About 20 metres. Here comes Ella Burgraff at the rate of knots. Bumps and shoves Sawkins out of the way. She has a bit of help there from Wallace. Burgraff, hands and knees, needs to get it out. Socket away from her. Elliott's got a big left foot if she can get onto it. Sends it deep. And Caitlin Hall takes the grab. And she plays on. I think the umpire might have called play on there. Touched off the boot, perhaps. Working down the ground here, Larissa Hobbs. Great challenge there. That was Scarlett Lack. They're still working hard, the Nelson Bay side. Burgraff could have got one high over the football and a nice mark. Gee, she's classy, Emma McCallum. Get to enjoy her playing football at this level, because the way she's played today, the fact she's been picked in an Allies team might suggest she won't be in this comp for too long. As that goes over
Great
the top
set
to
of
Miller.
hands up high she's got.
Yeah, and a couple of those deliveries from centre half back have been superb today. Vo, cop one high. Most footballers on the deck probably would have had that one around the hips. But she's gone high.
I know what that's like.
Benefit of being short, and we love it. So ball comes out. Sullivan, who's been pretty good today for Warners Bay. Nice effort there. Pretty sure that was Connick. Going through the rate of knots there was Wallace. Connick almost got through the footy again. Just been really noticeable with Nelson Bay. Connick and Norton, we've called so many times.
Connick was great then. She was just ferocious,
kept going.
Yeah.
She just
She's
kept
been
going.
very impressive for me.
So that's Wellings. Straight to Younger. Pitto will take the mark, 60 metres out, probably 55. Just saying to some of the girls, come at me. Brings it forward. Long ball. Huggins might be the target here. Gets to wheel around. Lovely tackle, Isabella Hole. That was superb. Got over the ball. Effort there from both sides was immense. Younger got underneath it. She's probably 30 out, maybe 40 when she kicks it. I reckon she fancies herself from here, Corey.
Yeah, I reckon she's certainly going back there like a power forward that knows that they're on for a shot. So she probably needs a little bit more of a run up, though. I don't know. She's going to get enough momentum here, but I won't count her out of it.
Will she sell the candy? No. I thought she might have gone the old sell the candy job run around. That one bounces inside 50. Isabella Hall went to ground at the wrong time. So did her opposition. Younger got in there and scrapped again. Around the football. This is Caitlin Hall. Nice little hand pass. Not sure if that's Sullivan or not, but she gets a good strike of it. Touched off the boot. They need to either rush it through or get it out of there. Isabella Hall drives it long again, and Vo couldn't mark it, tapped it forward. This is to Hall. Went round the body, needs to take a mark, and they do, Nelson Bay. Kelly Van Donselaar. Good hands there, Chop.
Yeah, very good, Mark. She's played a good final quarter here. She's been in amongst it a bit. But that kick, a long boot, unfortunately not long enough because it's been chopped off, and the mark's taken by the Bulldogs right on their 50. High ball. Few players underneath it. Good mark. That's Norton this time. She's been good for me today. So plays on quickly around the mark. Another high ball. A couple of Bulldogs camped underneath it and emerging from it is Trainer. She's kicked it forward. The Nelson Bay defence are up to the task though, but it's again that intercept after intercept type footy that's going on. In the hands now of the Bulldogs. They send it back forward and they've got an opportunity to go here. They've got numbers. Oh, charging out of it like a raging bull there was tremendous work by the Marlins. Now they're off and racing. A couple of players free. It's just not being able to take that ball in that first bounce, like cleanly in that first grab, that just gives the opposition enough time to get a defender to you. As the Bulldogs drive it back towards their goal now. Playing extremely well in that fullback position now, but Pittman's have merged with it and kicks a bag. That's a bag of goals for Amy Pittman / Younger, and we will get that right. 5-4 the day. And the fireworks come out. The Scene Productions here turning on all the sparkles for that. And our first bag for the day, congratulations to the Pitbull, Pitto / Younger.
That's a good replay there. She just willed it, didn't she?
Yeah, she's great.
Beat the opponent.
She's great to watch. She is. She is a pit bull, isn't she, when she goes at it at the ground level? I love watching her play.
She's a master technician in that forward line, and she's been the difference this afternoon. Emma McCallum's been great. Jazzy Wellings has played well. When it gets in that forward line, no one's better than her. Finishing it off, there's McCallum. Tried to go over the top there to McKenzie. Sitting in front of it was Gray. Dropped the mark. Around the corner trying to get it was Pavlu. And the umpire's going to pay a free kick here to Nelson Bay. 3 3/4 minutes remaining. Warners Bay, 33-point lead. And I don't know about you guys, and I dare say agree or semi-agree. I don't think this match warrants a 33-point result, to be fair. I think both sides have been relatively even. It's just been in that scoring zone.
Well, one player with 5 goals in a 7-goal total suggests, there's the difference, isn't it? I mean, but it's got to get to that player for those goals to be able to be scored, I guess. But, yeah, it's they're lacking a Pittman.
Yeah, I think the difference between the two sides is about 2 or 3 experienced players, similar players to Annalise Norton or Charlotte Connick. They've got some really good contributors in Toscano, Gainsford. The Holes have played well. Burgraff's played a role. Shaylee Callahan's been okay. It's just they've been okay. They haven't been that next step up.
Yep.
They just need a few more people.
Future's bright, though.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching them today, Nelson Bay. They're a good quality team that will challenge sides and make them work.
The other thing that's enjoyable is seeing Warners Bay's genuine improvement, their genuine move forward. Like they've been battlers for such a long time, and although they haven't quite emerged in that top 3/4 bracket yet, they are definitely on the way there, aren't they? Because they're showing vast improvement all the time. Their ball movement, their cleanliness of their possession, their linkage of play, their overall overlap run has been really impressive today. And they're getting bigger scores than they used to in times gone by. So And the only reason Pittman's been the mainstay in that side the whole time, the reason why she's able to kick 5 goals now is because the players around her are a lot better to be able to support that and get the ball to her more often and create space for her. So it's pleasing signs for the Warners Bay Bulldogs girls.
Yeah, spot on. Absolutely spot on. It's been a fine performance. They'll definitely miss Emma McCallum when she goes to play for the Allies in a few weeks. But Raquel Perez is a good replacement. As it comes out here to Lack. Lack goes forward and long. Sarah Gabbs the last line. Allows it to bounce, but there's McCullum again. Went to ground at the wrong time, but gets the free for the push. With about 80 seconds to go, I reckon it's either her or Amy Younger for best on for me, but I'll leave that in yours and Shane's capable hands.
Well, if it was a closer match, I think this young lady here has won it by a mile in terms of her work rate and where she's received her possession, but they've ended up going down by a fair bit, so I just don't know if I'll get justified in going against a player from the winning side.
So it's another behind to Nelson Bay. 3-7, plays 7-14, 56-25. Final dying embers of this Black Diamond Women's Cup match. And I think this is a 50-metre penalty for being inside the 15 for off the kickoff. It's a penalty to give away. It goes to the back of the centre square. So it's not always a genuine 50. Depends on the size of the ground. So Warners Bay will move this forward with about 20 seconds to go. Great hands, and she's been all right too, Abby McKenzie, as she works her way back from injury. Former Newcastle City player. Nice ball forward. Good performance today by Duffy in defence for Nelson Bay. Gets another clearing kick. Burge has been good for Warners Bay too. Gets a hand pass out to Leo. Leo goes over the top. Gainsford didn't go with it. Full-time siren sounds. Warners Bay Bulldogs have 3 Black Diamond Cup wins in a row. And it's some sort of momentous occasion for the Dogs this afternoon as they defeat Nelson Bay. A very spirited Nelson Bay by 31 points, 7-14-56 to Nelson Bay, 3-7-25. Amy Younger, the star of the show, in front of goals with a bag of 5. She's been magnificent today, beautifully backed up by Marley Bronkhurst, Emma McCallum, Zali Burge, Olivia Sullivan, Caitlin Hall, Jazzy Wellings, Chloe Huggins. There's been a plethora of great players today, Chop, who have been some of your best, mate.
I was impressed with Connick and Norton for the Nelson Bay Marlins. I thought they were tops all day long, but yeah, hard to go past Pittman and Wellings, the regular standouts for Bulldogs, and McCullum was very impressive as well.
An outstanding performance. Well, we've got about 8 minutes until the next match between Nelson Bay and Newcastle City. Congratulations to the Warners Bay Women's Cup side as they go 3 in a row to continue their march up the ladder. They defeat Nelson Bay by 31 points.
This has been a Scene Production co-broadcast for the AFL Hunter Central Coast.